Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on crypto. I hope you're having a great day. So there are a lot of things that are going on out there, right? And I had a whole bunch of news that I've been paying attention to. For example, Bentley University in the United States up in Massachusetts is accepting crypto or digital assets for tuition payments. Not the first, definitely won't be the last, right? You also have Terra LUNA declining. Seemingly like there's a big sell-off because it was dropped a little bit in terms of pegging for UST. Really, that happens all the time. So I think there's overreaction there. You have a hacker from the UK that is facing extradition to the United States. It's after the SIM swap hack. The NFT support of Instagram's diving in and saying, listen, we're going to support NFTs, from Solana and other platforms and everything. And I'm sitting back and I'm kind of going, what the hell does that mean? What does that even mean? Whatever. We'll figure it out, right? Because I think they're looking from a visual perspective, the visual version of NFTs and not necessarily the utility of the technology, but whatever. We'll get into that. You have Conti hackers. Conti hackers are actually from Russia and pretty much state funded, state run pretty much. And the United States put out a $15 million bounty. Wow. They're sending big messages to Russia that, hey, we're not playing around. And if you look at it, they're sending big messages, not just to Russia, but to North Korea and China. But hey, we see you and we do have reactions for you. That's pretty interesting. That is very interesting. In Portugal, you can now purchase real estate with digital assets. I've covered this a few weeks ago about Portugal, right? Portugal is a haven for crypto. You can pretty much live your whole life in Portugal off of crypto. Just saying. Not that I want to go there or anything. I mean, I'm not so sure. And yes, I said that out loud. Yeah, I'm not so sure. But my brother Elliot had asked me to say, well, every Sunday he wants me to sit down and think about what I would do with $1,000 over the coming week. Now, there are a lot of people right now that are freaking out, absolutely losing their freaking minds because the market isn't doing so hot. And why isn't the market doing so hot? Well, I told you there are 3 macro events that are going on right now that's holding the market back, right? You have the criminal actions of Russia in Ukraine, you have inflation, and you have supply chain issues. Now, I want you to think about those supply chain issues because I told you this before. The supply chain issues stem from countries around the world outsourcing manufacturing. And this has been going on for decades where they outsource manufacturing and they started outsourcing, pretty much low-level jobs. But then they started outsourcing high-level jobs. I'm talking 6-figure incomes is what they started outsourcing. Now they're actually seeing the ramifications of doing that, right? The United States had to send a message to India that, hey, cut that nonsense out with siding with Russia. Why? Because India is based on a lot of business in the United States. I mean, it's not based there, but they have a chunk of business going on in the United States, and that's going to be a very big deal. The other one is that why did we outsource so many jobs? Well, because United States companies are greedy. Capitalism. But, I believe that capitalism with a little bit of common sense and a little bit less greed can actually do well in the global economy. That said, we're starting to see what kind of damage that causes, especially with regard to manufacturing, because we've been outsourcing manufacturing since the freaking 70s. So when you look at that amount of time, yeah, we're talking like 50 years. So when you look at that amount of time that we've outsourced all of that manufacturing to elsewhere, even companies, that say, it was, what is it? It was, the thought was created in California, but it's manufactured in China. Guess I wonder what company I'm talking about there, right? Think phone. But the idea is that we've outsourced all that, and now we're dependent upon China because that's pretty much where we outsourced everything to build things. And you sit there, most of the products that come into the United States, China, made in China, made in China, made in China. And then you wonder why so many people are all about made in the USA. This is why we're starting to see the pain points from this. We've got major supply chain issues, and you have to sit back and you have to wonder, excuse me, what would happen if we started retraining people? Think coal miners, just think about certain things. If we retrain them to manufacture different things or put them into solar or other, sustainable energy spaces where they can actually make really good money. Really good money. Even some of these people going back into manufacturing, really good money. So I'm calling, I'm saying to American businesses, there are a lot of companies here that are manufacturing here that are making really good money manufacturing here. Could they make more money outsourcing to other countries? Yes, they can, but they made a conscious decision to manufacture here. Not that they're against the outside world, but because there are jobs. There are jobs. And if we continue to outsource, big things like that, those skill sets leave the country. They do. So what's India's problem? India's problem is that they're having a brain drain because their taxes are ridiculous. Wazir X and its co-founders both moved to Dubai and moved the operations for Wazir X to Dubai. So there are ramifications for countries making the wrong decisions at the wrong times for the wrong reasons. This is chess, not checkers. So for the past 50 years, China's been playing chess while the United States has been playing freaking tiddlywinks. Just saying, change is near. Change is necessary, rather. So when I started thinking about, what's going to happen in the coming week? Well, because of, Russia's criminal acts in Ukraine, well, what happens? Energy is taking a hit. It's a two-prong hit, though. The first hit is from the world saying we're going to try to cut down, or we're not even going to try. We are going to cut down on Russian imports of energy, right? We're not going to import Russian energy. Cool. But the other prong, because obviously that has an impact on global energy, and that's a problem for the world. But the other prong is OPEC decided, we're not going to increase productivity. And we're going to blame it on whatever capacity, whatever. That's what we're going to blame it on. We know that's not true. We know that's absolutely not true. So what does that do? That's a two-prong hit that happened over the past couple of days. And that sent the market lower, the crypto market lower. Well, what's going to happen is tomorrow when everybody wakes up and it hits Wall Street, I think the markets are going to tank again. And that's going to grab on to crypto and drag crypto down again. That's a problem because there really is no correlation. There really isn't. I mean, you have a lot of people saying, listen, crypto's the place to be if you want to hedge against inflation. But the market's reaction to energy issues, that's going to drag down crypto. But it's not dragging down crypto from a perspective of crypto. There's a macro event. So now you're going to start to see projects hurt. Why? Well, some of them just don't have any utility. They just don't. So what would I do for $1,000 if I took that $1,000 and put it toward crypto? I'm going to sit there and I'm going to say, well, excuse me, out of all the coins that I'm interested in, what coins have taken the least hit, right? Then I'm going to start to say, well, what coins, and these are factors, they're not necessarily prioritized or weighted right now, but also what coins have the most utility? What coins have the strongest community? What coins or projects are inviting of the most development? Right? That's what I'm looking for. So when I look at this, I'm sitting back and I'm saying to myself, well, there are a few coins that I'd be interested in. Let's hit the list, right? So I'll rattle it off to you real quick. I'm interested in Cardano just because Cardano is fast, it's cheap, and it's solid. Every step they make is rock solid, right? Not now, obviously I said rock solid and not as solid as like something else, because rock can crack, rock can break, but that's pretty damn solid. They have the Vassal hard fork coming. There are a lot of things going on Cardano, including a couple of stable coins launching on Cardano's network. There are a lot of things going on there that give Cardano, give people something to think about. The next one is VChain. Why am I so interested in VChain? I harp on VChain because they decided there are several things that you can use our network for, and we'll be really good at it. But they've honed in on supply chain. That's an issue we're having right now. It's an issue we're having right now. So when I look at that, I go, yeah, I'm interested in VChain. Also, VChain's numbers, let's go on down. There you are. When you look at VChain's number, that's less than 4.5 cents. Okay, so when you're looking at 4.5 cents for something that has such strong utility and growth, also look at their market cap. It's almost 3 billion. It's 2.8 billion. And I keep telling you, anything with a market cap below 1 billion is an issue, right? It's hard to get to 1 billion. Then it's harder to get from 1 billion to 2 billion. And then of course you're trying to go above. So that's tough. VChain's done it. And they've been there for a while, and they offer a great deal of utility, and they're not done yet. There's a lot of gas in the tank for them, just like Cardano. So those are two things that I'm looking at for the next week. Now, one of my absolute favorite projects is Polygon. What's my rule? My rule is utility as well as connective tissue. Projects that lend itself to other projects. Matic has a lot of utility going on, and that's a very big deal. They've got one of the largest ecosystems out there. Everybody talks about the Doge army, the Shiba army, the blah, 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 blah. Cardano has a growing army. Polygon has a growing army, and they've got speed and they're cheaper. They're basically a layer 2. They kind of operate like a layer 1, but they've got a layer 2 to Ethereum, and people are moving traffic there all the time. All the time. We see you, OpenSea, just saying. Something else that I'm looking at, Hedera hash graph. Why is that? It's because it's a different kind of blockchain. Now, I got into a really, really, really big discussion last night with my friend Nicholas, and Nick was like, yo, dude, you can't sleep on Hedera. I said, I'm not sleeping on Hedera. But what I did is I said, if I have two things that I'm interested in. One was Hedera, the other one was VChain. And I said, well, let me go over to Wallet Investor. No, they are not sponsoring anything or anything else like that. It's just a tool that I like to use. And I said, let me compare the two charts. Well, if you're looking to make money, VChain has from the day that Hedera started, because VChain's older, from the day that Hedera started to today, VChain's been the one to beat it out. So I'm looking at two projects that are really, really good, that I am going to get involved in. I'm already holding VChain, so clearly I'm going to go get myself some Hedera, which I am not holding at the moment, but I do plan on getting some. But I'm waiting, and I'll tell you why I'm waiting in a moment. But I looked at these two projects, and I said, I'm going to drop $300 right now. You know, out of that 1,000, I want to drop $300 right now, because that's my little bit that I'm going to take. Well, I dropped it on VChain. Why? Because the smallest move on VChain to a positive space, I can make big money. And do the math on basically 4.5 cents, right? And what you could do with 4.5 cents for $300. Right? Exactly. Simple math. It's simple math. Do I see hope and promise in Hedera? Abso-freaking-lutely. But I've got to see more adoption. I've got to see a lot more adoption there. And that's the big deal, is how do you grow adoption there? And I think my company might have something for that very soon. But so I'm going to be purchasing VChain. The next one, I told you Polygon. So Cardano, VChain, Polygon, Hedera. Now, people here are going to absolutely flip out. Doge and SHIB. Okay, Doge and SHIB. Those are the ones that I'm actually looking at. And let's pull those. I did not do this part. Let's do SHIB. There you go. Compare the two. And Doge wins. All-time Doge wins. Right? Now, something that people forget about Doge is that Doge is actually based on Bitcoin blockchain technology. He used the Bitcoin papers to create Doge, but Doge is faster and scalable and cheaper. So I know I harp on Doge all the time, but all Doge needs is utility, which means adoption. So the more places that pick up on Doge, they're going to use it, because I'm going to tell you, in the future, it is not going to be a single coin that's going to be used so far, right? I don't think in the near future it's going to be a single coin that everybody, hops onto. I think it's going to be multiple coins. And I just happen to think out of those multiple coins, a few weeks ago, I dropped one on ISO 222. I think those coins are going to be involved. So things like IOTA, Algorand, just saying. But I also think that coins like Doge, because they're cheap, it's cheap, easy to use. I think something like Shiba Inu, cheap, easy to use, are also going to be a part of that stack. Equinox is one of the companies. They're using BitPay, and BitPay uses currently right now greater than a dozen coins for people to incorporate into their platforms. That's great. And there are other companies doing the same thing. And you have to pay attention to that, because that's what's going to grow. But the other one is Algorand. So I've got Cardano, VChain, Polygon, which is Matic, Hedera, Doge, SHIB, and Algo. Those 7 coins are on my list of acquisition, of near-term acquisition. So what I'm doing right now is I'm trying to figure out, well, based on $1,000, what kind of chunk would I be putting in and where? I'm waiting for a couple of things. I did make a purchase yesterday in Doge because I'm already holding certain things. I am going to make another couple of purchases, and it's going to be one of these seven coins that I've rattled off. Again, Cardano, VChain, Polygon, Hedera, Doge, SHIB, and Algorand. There are other coins I'm interested in, but in the very near term, this is where I'm at, because these coins are incredibly oversold, and they've taken a bigger hit than they should have, and I'm expecting that they would come back. But the reason why I am not moving so quickly is because, do you see this? TVL? Total value locked is down across the board. We were in the 190s, now we're in the 180s. Why is that? It goes back to what I was saying earlier. It was all about Terra LUNA. And it was all about UST missing the peg a little bit. So it's oversold. So people panicked. All right, no big deal. Whatever. Fear and greed index. Let me refresh this because I haven't seen what the new number is. Dun, dun, dun. Extreme fear. 18. Deep in extreme fear, and I expect that to go even lower. Why is that? Okay, here's why. I told you there are 3 macro events, and one of them is another macro event that stems from another macro event. And it's all about energy, and it's all about the Russian criminal acts in Ukraine. If Russia wasn't there, we wouldn't have such a steep energy problem. We wouldn't have any energy problem. Let's be honest. And there you go. So why am I waiting? I'm waiting because that news didn't hit until over the weekend. So I'm expecting the stock market to react as you think it would react. It's going to dive, and I think it's going to pull crypto along with it. And like I said, those projects that have real utility are going to go down again. We'll be able to get in at a lower price because it's me and my kids making investments. We'll be able to get in at a lower price. And then we'll have a lower strike price across the board. And then we'll make money as it starts to turn up. And like I said, what I do is I have separate wallets. Some wallets are meant for holding, and some wallets are meant for making money, like immediate money. So if I see 10, 20% jumps, I'm going to take advantage of those 10, 20% jumps. I'm going to pay attention to that. Little dingers, little bells, little notifications, little smoke signals, little semaphores, whatever I need to do to figure out what's popping and locking, in the market. This is what I'm looking at. And I didn't even switch screens for you. I'm so sorry. So let's go back, show you DeFi Llama. Look at that, 182 billion. That's a big jump down from the 205 we were at just a couple of days ago. Fear and greed index at 18. That's a major problem. And why is that a major problem? It's a major problem because it's going to go even deeper into extreme fear. Now, I'm hoping that you're like me and you've been putting money away, whether it be in stablecoin or cash on the side, so that you're ready to react when something like this happens. And you go for projects that you've done your research on, because that's what I do. I do my own research so I can grow my bag. And I teach my kids the same thing, right? Grow my bag is their kind of thing. So grow my bag. But you have to pay attention to that. I mean, look at where Bitcoin is right now. I firmly believe we're going to see 30,000. Right now, I told you a couple of days ago, I'm looking for 33.7. Well, look at where we are. We're at 34.5. 33.7 is a realistic bottom for, this particular market. But I really do see at this level where we could be looking at 30,000. Beyond that, I don't think so, but I can honestly see there is an opportunity to see 30,000, in which case I would take more money and put it in. Why? Because the slightest move up, you'll most likely, not even most likely, I'll be in the green. So this is what I'm paying attention to. When you look at all this deep red, it's going to be deeper red. Well, there you go. So you'll see deeper red. I think tomorrow, this market is going to go down again, and there'll be another buying opportunity. That's what I think is going to happen. So with my $1,000, I'm looking at those 7 particular coins. You could be saying, oh, well, I could get into, Bitcoin and Ethereum. Yeah, if you're a newbie, you'll go after Bitcoin and Ethereum and you'll get in and they'll go up by percentage. Or you can get in on some of these other coins and you might actually see multiples when the market finally starts to pop up. Remember, we're only in the first half of the year. Toward the end of the year, toward the last quarter of this year, I think we're going to see major pops up. We will see pops up. Obviously there are opportunities for us to see pops down or just crashes. Why? Well, people are expecting a recession next year. That's going to affect things like real estate. Big time. Real estate will take a hit. Future tech, like Web3, crypto technologies, the ability to, move things quickly, move information, security, all those kinds of things. That's what cryptocurrency and Web3 technologies really have focus on. I'm thinking those things are going to pick up. Any recession, I think we could do fairly well in this case. Something else that I'm looking for to round out the portfolio, it really is real estate, because I think the real estate bubble is going to happen again, because people bought way high. For example, there were people from Brooklyn that are moving upstate, to different places upstate New York. I forget the towns, what is it, Kingston or something like that. And they move upstate and they would go literally knocking on doors. Would you like to sell your house? How much? Houses that weren't for sale. Dead freaking serious. So people were buying left and right. My brother Elliot, he was like, oh, me and my girlfriend, we want to buy, real estate property in Manhattan, little apartments. We can rent them out, blah, blah, blah. And I'm kind of like, why would you do that? Why would you do that now? Don't do that now. Wait for the recession. Wait for people to be hurting and then go in and buy. Yes, the mortgage rates will probably be higher, but the price of the property is going to be significantly lower. And eventually those rates will come back down just a hair, and then you'll be able to refinance. But that's what I'm looking at. And I'm not looking at purchasing, little apartments. I'd be looking at purchasing, small multifamily dwellings. That would be my plan if I wanted to get deep into real estate. So that's what I'm paying attention to in addition to crypto technology, right? So again, Cardano, VChain, Polygon, Hedera, Doge, SHIB, Algo. Those are the ones. Those are the ones that I'm looking at right now, because I think you can just get a lot of money back. When you look at Algorand, it's at 72 cents. That's way off its all-time high. All of these coins that I'm telling you about are way off their all-time highs. Look at Polygon, under $1. Just a couple of days ago, it was at $1.08. Before that, it was $1.04. Before that, it was $1.10 or something like that. So everything has been taking a precipitous fall. But if you're going to ask me how I'm going to spend $1,000 each week, I'll start to answer you why I'm going to be spending, how I'll spend $1,000 each week in the crypto space, and how I would spend it across that week. So I spent some yesterday. I've got $700 left. I'm going to wait it out until tomorrow and Tuesday, for the news to actually hit and wash over. We're going to start to see major sell-offs. I believe. I'm not a soothsayer or anything like that. I can't see into the future, but I think we're going to see major sell-offs in the stock market. That will also bring down the cryptocurrency space. We'll find more things on sale. And that's when I'll start scooping things up some more. So there's the plan. There's really the plan. I'm also looking at how resilient certain coins are. They're taking hits, but they're not taking huge hits. I mean, where you're seeing, look at Algorand, for example, right here. My mouse just happened to be there. Over past 7 days, it's up 20%. How the hell? Yeah, it's up 20%. When you look at others, you look at Kronos, it's down 20%. Just what? That's crypto.com, by the way, just in case you forgot. So where you're looking at coins that are taking single percentage hits, look at Doge, 7.4. SHIB took a 2-digit hit at 15%. Right? Cardano, single digit. I'm looking at what I think the recovery model could be. I'm paying attention to the numbers, not just the projects. I put all of that research together and I start to formulate opinions across the board. And that's how I'm helping out with deciding what the dollar cost averaging strategy should be for each one, and then for each one as it pertains to the whole portfolio. Anyway, this is Eddie J on Crypto. Hope you're having a great day, and I truly hope that this helps you. Do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe, and definitely hit the notification bell so you know when I'm dropping a new video. And by the way, to all those wonderful mothers out there, happy Mother's Day. Have a good one. Bye-bye.